Welcome to the Kingdom Culture Podcast that was created on purpose with a purpose to empower, uplift, and guide others to the center of God's perfect will. Kingdom Culture family, welcome back to the Kingdom Culture Podcast. I hope everybody's been having a great week. I wanted to talk about something that I did last week because it's going to help with today's episode. I found a great opportunity to become a one-on-one life coach to help you through your struggles, to help you identify what's keeping you from the life that you want. The number one thing that I have said throughout this podcast is that I created this because I would have wanted somebody back then that would help me through my struggles and my issues. And what better way for me to create a space where people can come and talk to me one-on-one and we can figure this out together. So, if you're interested, I'm going to leave all of the details below. And you guys can send me a DM through Instagram. And it's very new. But I wanted to tell you about it because I feel like it's important and it's my purpose. So again, if you're interested in my one-on-one coaching, I'll leave all of the details in the posts. And we'll go from there. But it took me a long time to realize that I wanted to do it. Because I wasn't taking the action that I needed to take to be the coach. And I want to tell you guys as well that it took me 8 months to launch the podcast. I had the idea for the podcast back in 2022. I said, I want to have a podcast. I want to make sure that people hear that there is a better way to live if you're going through trauma, or you're trying to heal, or you have trouble with depression, anxiety, overstimulation. And I did not take action on it until about 1.5 years later, 2023. And same thing with this coaching business. The first thing that popped in my head when I was going through the phone call of how they were explaining everything, I said, I'm not good enough for this. Who's going to listen to a kid from Matamoros? Who's going to even want to work with me? Those are the thoughts that came to my head the moment that I signed up. And the moment that I wanted to launch the podcast, the first thought that came up was nobody's going to listen to you. You sound weird on audio. Your accent is weird. And I found it very interesting. So, like I always do, I sat down and became aware that I was having these negative thoughts, and I stopped myself for the coaching business, right? After my phone call, I said, what the heck? Why am I feeling like I'm not going to be able to do this? This is a beautiful blessing, a beautiful opportunity for me to help other people. That's it. I just want to bring as much value as I can to the world to at least know that I left it a better place than it was. Nothing else. And so I sat down and journaled, and it was super cool because even that week, my mindset mentor talked about limiting beliefs. And truth is that before I even started my self-development journey, I would say no to a lot of things. I would count myself out before even trying. I missed out on awesome opportunities, business-wise, trips, things with friends, because I would always say no. I would always be like, no, there's not enough money. No, I don't have enough time. No, I don't know how to do that, so I'm not going to do it. And now that, I'm going through this journey myself, I realized that there had to be another reason. There had to be something deeper that was causing me to procrastinate, that was causing me to say no. And that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, is why we don't take action. Why it's so hard, or we feel like we're fighting against the things that we have to do, that we know we have to do to live the life that we actually want. And it's because we have limited beliefs rooted inside from our past. For me, it was, I'm not good enough. I have imposter syndrome. I am, I'm not anybody. Nobody's going to listen to me, whatever else. And I realized, that I didn't execute what I had to because I'm still living in the past, or I still was living in the past, because I've launched so many businesses and I've had success, right? I've had success with them. I've met amazing people through them, but they never stuck around. It would always crumble. So, imposter syndrome came from that. Not being enough came from not having my parents around me 24/7. I felt like I wasn't enough for them. That's why I didn't want to be around. In reality, the truth is that those businesses didn't fail. They were just stepping stones to get me here right now. My parents loved me. They just needed to work and make sure, that I was fed and taken care of. It's not that I wasn't good enough. It's not that they didn't want to be around me. That's the truth. And so I started journaling, and I realized that I had these rooted beliefs from past trauma. And I was bringing that pain and that hurt into the present. Kind of like a boogeyman, right? Like in our heads. We make up the craziest scenarios before they're even here. Because that's how our brain works. Our brain will always work to protect us. So the worst possible outcome will always come up because you haven't done it before. You haven't been that version of yourself before. And because of that, your brain will automatically tell you to go into safety, to stay in your comfort zone. And you won't move forward. So the first thing you ever want to do, and the first thing that I ever did, was become aware. I became aware of the fact that I was living in my past hurt, and I needed to remove it, and I needed to replace it. So, become aware, step 1. Number 2, replace it. I became aware that I felt like I wasn't good enough. I replaced it with the truth of the Lord made me wonderfully, and He has made me with this purpose, so this is what I'm on earth. This is why I'm on earth, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Nothing else. And I repeat that to myself every single day. To this day, I still do that because I still have limiting beliefs that pop up. But the moment that they do, I become aware and I replace them. The second truth of not being good enough, my truth behind that is I am wonderfully accepted and loved. Or, even simplify it even more. I'm accepted and loved. I am enough. Boom. Tell myself that every single day. Because what you want to do is not just tell yourself, yep, I know that I'm good enough. Yep, I know that I'm made for this. This is my purpose. Because it'll still come up until it's fully healed and replaced with the truth. Because you've been carrying that for years. It's kind of like, when I'm married, right? So me and my husband have slept on the same sides of the bed forever, ever since we got married. 5 years later, if I sleep on his side of the bed or he sleeps on mine, we don't sleep well. It's a habit. And so these rooted beliefs are like a habit that are stuck. And you keep believing them over and over and over again. And you won't change because that is what makes you be who you are. Those beliefs make you who you are. So you have to continually tell yourself the truth. Replace it with who you want to become now, who you want to be, and walk with that, right? So those are my first 2 truths. And then anything else that pops up, I always journal. And I want to really encourage you guys to start journaling and start digging deep, because the more that you become curious about yourself, the better you'll be off, because you'll realize what you still need to heal, what you're still carrying, and anything else. That's why I love self-development. That's why I'm doing this, because it's amazing to see where I used to be to where I am now, to where I'm going. So every time that something comes up like that, I'm like, oh, that's a limiting belief. Why do I feel like this? And so one of the great questions that I like to ask myself is, what are the excuses that I've been putting up that are keeping me from taking this action? What are the excuses? Journal for 5 to 10 minutes, write everything that I can down. And things that popped up for me is an excuse that I always give myself: I don't have enough time, I'm not good enough, nobody's going to listen to me, my accent is weird, I don't have enough money to invest, my family's going to probably make fun of me, nobody's going to believe me, I have the imposter syndrome. Like, all of these negative things pop up. What are the excuses? right? Number 2 is, what would my life look like? That's number 3. Number 2 is, what is the truth? So then you have all of these excuses and you tell yourself the truth behind them. So what are the excuses? What is the truth? And so when I was journaling through what is the truth, I figured out like, oh, I feel like I'm not good enough because my parents didn't want to be around me. Oh, I feel like I don't have time because I feel like I always have to keep working, and that's coming from a feeling of a lack of, not of purpose. Oh, I feel like nobody's going to listen to me because I got bullied for my accent before in the way that I walk. So, again, digging deeper takes you further. What are the excuses? What is the truth? What is the actual purpose? The root cause of me feeling this way? What happened in my past? What traumas did I go through that are making me feel this way? Right? After I say that and I journal through that for another 5 or 10 minutes, the third question that I was about to give you guys is, what is what is the real thing that I'm in now? Because that's my past. That's my past trauma. The third question is, what is the truth now? Or what can I replace it with now? So the first thing was, I'm not good enough. I don't have time. Nobody's going to listen to me. My truth now is, I am created for this. This is my purpose. I am helping others through this thing. So it's good. Not having enough time. The truth behind that would be, what do I have to remove from my life to make sure that this is my first priority? What do I have to stop focusing on so I can focus on the right things? I'm not smart enough. What do I have to study to become smarter? And so you start replacing these things with the truth, and you start moving towards the truth. And journaling, like I said, I want to encourage you guys to journal, because it helps a lot. When you write it out in paper, it's not just in your head, right? And you start moving forward. And now every morning I tell myself my truths. I am wonderfully and beautifully created by the Lord. I am loved. I am enough. I am living in purpose, and I'm here on earth to help other people. Every day, before I even get out of the bed. Thank you, Lord, for another day. I am wonderfully loved. I am created with purpose. I'm here to help people. I am enough. And, whatever else. I have it written down somewhere by my bedside, and then I have it on the mirror on my bathroom. So I just keep repeating myself my truths, and I root them inside of me. And now I'm taking the right action necessary to be able to get there. So I want to encourage you, start digging deep, start asking yourself questions, and start taking the action necessary to live the life that you want. Right? Taking action does not have to be scary. The action that you need to take is what's going to change your life. Whatever you want to improve on, whatever you want to learn, whatever it is that you feel you're in a lack of, you can take the action to get there. You can take the action needed to make sure that you have what you want. But it's going to take action. It's not just going to magically come up in your lap, right? So just stop overthinking and take the small steps. Stop overthinking and realize that as long as you have, the truth, and you stop feeding these limiting beliefs, there's nothing you can't do, right? And as always, before I end, I give you guys Bible verses that I feel like are going to help you move forward in life with whatever topic I bring. So this week's verse is James 2:17, and it says, "In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead." This verse is part of a larger passage where James explains that genuine faith in God is demonstrated through our actions, and it highlights that merely believing in something is not enough. Our beliefs must be reflected in what we do. Right? So that's the faith in action put together. Living faith, the term dead in this context means inactive or useless. A living faith is active and dynamic, resulting in tangible actions that reflect our beliefs and values. So living in faith means you're taking action towards, things that you want, and you're reflecting on the things that you haven't done. In taking action based on faith can manifest in various ways. It can help other people. You can help other people, be kind and compassionate, stand up for justice, spread love, give, be a friend, be a disciple. Be a friend, be a disciple, show up for people how you haven't before. Everything takes time, and it takes you taking action. Your life won't change unless you allow yourself to move towards the right path. Your faith needs action as well. How are you living out your Christ-centered life? How are you showing up for people? How are you showing up for yourself? How are you being the mirror to the world of Christ? So, that's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you found some value in it. If you did, please share it forward. Put it on your Instagram stories and tag me. I'll put my hashtags down here like I always do. Again, if you want to talk to me about the one-on-one coaching business as well, I'll have that information for you. God bless you guys, and remember that I love you, but that the Lord loves you more. Always, 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 always. I hope you guys have an amazing week. We'll talk next Wednesday. God bless.